Come on, baby, bounce, bounce. Come on, baby, I don't care about a thing as long as I get to you. 'Cause I like your back, that smack, and that is all that.
Welcome back to the GSL Super Tournament, everyone. I'm sure you all had a wonderful weekend watching the MLG, but guess what? The GSL is still here. Hope you guys didn't forget, because I didn't forget today. We have some awesome matches. First up is going to be MarineKing versus Ace. The crowd here at the studio today is actually bigger than I've ever seen so far being here casting at the GSL. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I know it's a little strange again. I'm here by myself. I'm the lone wolf caster. I was making jokes earlier on the TL thread that I've got two imaginary casters, or two invisible casters, rather. The only problem is they can't speak. But I don't feel alone here because there's so much energy here in the studio today. My producers are really helpful. I've got like little stat sheets that I made for myself. Got all this little handy stuff on my other preview screen, like match stats. Got here early today, looked up a bunch of stuff. Pretty prepared today, so I'm not nervous at all. But today we're going to have another awesome game. Not only MarineKing versus Ace, but Lenok versus Clyde, the rematch of the century. Maybe not of the century, but it's a pretty important rematch today. Last time they played each other, Lenok took him out 2-0. See what happens this time. Clyde has been improving a little bit. He hasn't impressed me as much as he's impressed the other casting Archon, but he's pretty impressive, I have to say. Does a pretty good job, and he's on the team TSL, so he's got a lot of really good practice partners there. He can practice with Fruit Dealer, for example. But that's not all we have today. We also have some pretty awesome games like Alicia versus Byun. That's going to be awesome. Alicia, of course, a Protoss who's very up and coming, trying to prove himself, trying to make a name for himself. All right, we're going to take a look at last week's match results. There they are now. MVP Keen losing to Juke2. A little bit of an upset there. Juke2 edging him out 2-1. The Best Boyu 2-0ing Trickster. Another one of those upsets. The Best Boyu making a huge improvement, playing much better. And Slayer's Men 2-0ing Genius, the first of two ZVPs where they were 2-0'd, because of course the second one was TSL Revival taking out Hong, and both of those players showing some awesome Roach aggression and some really good Mutalist control by Men, and great decision making overall from both of those players. So, yeah, very interesting results there. Now today's matches, we're going to have, of course I mentioned a few of them already, Startail Ace versus MarineKing Prime Wii, TSL Clyde versus Lenok Boyu, Zenix Byun versus Slayer's Alicia, SV Boyu versus, excuse me, Maka Prime. Just choking there to get Maka Prime's name out. Maka Prime, he's got his work cut out for him today, but he's been improving steadily as well. So those are today's matches. Now Maka Prime, he did get here through a walkover, so he's lucky to be in the round of 32, because I'm not sure he could have taken out Noble S. His TVT is not as strong as SC's by any means. In fact, I just wanted to mention that SC, look at my stats here, SC has 68.97% win ratio against Terran, whereas Maka has less than 50%. So Maka also currently in Code B. He's got a lot to prove today, but we're going to take a look at our first two players. There's Startail Ace. Always has a serious face, and I thought he was possibly one of the most serious guys I've ever seen here at the GSL. But he came to the GOM house the other day. I shook his hand. I talked to him a little bit. He is one of the nicest, most laid-back guys you'll ever see. Now, of course, he got into Code A. He qualified for Code A 3 times, and each time fell down to Code B. So we'll have to see him try to qualify again. He did take out Fruit Dealer on his way here, though, through the round of 64. So very impressive results. There's a shot of him now. See, he looks pretty laid back. In his pictures, though, and sometimes on camera, he looks so serious. Especially back at IEM, I thought he was one of the most serious guys I've ever seen. But you can see him now. He's looking a little bit more relaxed. I think with results comes confidence. And his opponent is MarineKing Prime, my personal favorite player. And actually, he's definitely one of the favorites to take this entire tournament. A lot of fans in the audience cheering him on right now. And I gotta say, he's got a pretty good shot of it. Now that MVP is out, I think MVP is one of his biggest roadblocks, and MVP was knocked out of the tournament already, so he's got a pretty good shot at it. His results, you can take a look at them, but I mean, what else is there to say? If you guys don't know his results by now, you should probably look those up. There he is, giving a little cheer to the crowd. He's definitely one of the nicest guys I've ever met. He's really funny as well, and just likes to make jokes all the time. There's a shot of our studio. You can see some of the crowd actually at the front of it today because there's so many people here. They're going to get packed in. See that little GSL logo in the middle? Before you know it, there's actually going to be, the crowd's going to be over there on all the way where that logo is. So here's a little bit more about these two players. As you can see, Ace's win rate versus Terran is decent, to say the least. But MarineKing has much better results and much better results overall. You can see he took out Squirtle. And Ace, you know, he's got some scattered results here and there. As you can see his first few listed. He hasn't done so well. Of course, those are not all of them Terran players, but he did lose to Virus. And that's something to note because Virus isn't that strong of a Terran player. He's been improving a lot recently. He's definitely not the best player out there by any means, though. Alright, so the maps, we're going to see set 1 is going to be Terminus Re, a very large map. Of course, set 2 will be on Zelnaga Caverns, a very standard, the most commonly played ladder map of all time. And set 3 will be on Crossfire. Now, like I said, Crossfire is a map, I talk about this all the time, I feel Protoss has really struggled with, so it's going to be very important for Ace to take the first 2 sets, because MarineKing, I'm sure he's got some timing pushes worked out for that Crossfire map, and you kind of have to play a certain way on that map if you're a Protoss player to be able to deal with those sort of timing pushes. We saw Trickster sort of try to avoid that earlier. He kind of struggled, so his first 2 matches are really important for Ace here today. And the countdown has started. We're going to get into this game in just a second. Will Ace take game 1 and maybe upset MarineKing a little bit, or is MarineKing just going to shut him down? We'll find out in just a minute.
Startail Ace versus MarineKing Prime Week.
Alright, over here, a scouting probe. That probe belongs to the Protoss player on the team Startail. And actually, this is not a scouting probe. We're not going to have any intros because my producers told me we're not going to have any intros because you know what? Ace is going to proxy gate. How did he know where MarineKing was? This is extremely interesting and unusual. And MarineKing has no idea. He has not seen that probe, nor did he see the pylon. So we're going to skip intros. That's MarineKing in the yellow, by the way. And of course, the red is Ace, just for those who don't know. Now, if he proxies 2 gates here, it's going to be very difficult for MarineKing to stop. He may choose to proxy just 1 because just 1, when it's that surprising, can be very effective. Crowd's going pretty wild here. A lot of people standing up. There's more people funneling in trying to find seats. It's a very tense moment, not only in the studio, but inside of MarineKing's base. Of course, he doesn't know how tense it is just yet. Now, the question is, how did Startail Ace guess correctly where his opponent was? It's a very risky move. He's actually going to proxy both gateways. Now, MarineKing doesn't see this. Very risky move by Startail Ace, but it may prove to pay off here. He's actually saving all of his Chrono Boost for those first Zealots. In fact, he's pooling minerals as well. He's going to Chrono Boost 2 Zealots out as soon as those gateways finish. He's actually cut probe production as well. You don't normally have to do that, but he is choosing to do that. Now he's going to Chrono Boost his first Zealot out. Wants to make sure he has enough minerals for those Zealots, but he has enough minerals to support more probes, so I'm really surprised he's not making those. I know you guys don't really have a shot of his main base. Now here comes the scouting SCV of MarineKing. Now the first Zealot's about to pop out. Oh, he may have been able to see that Chrono Boost, but I don't think he would have noticed unless he was looking at that particular location in his base. I think MarineKing has no idea. Now remember, guys, he's walled off, so it's going to be very difficult for him to get a bunker up in his mineral line to hold this off. And he's going to make a command, so he's going for a gasless expand. He is in so much trouble, he just doesn't even know. And Ace is going to wait with his first Zealot. He's going to wait until he has 3 Zealots, and they're going to go in there. And MarineKing is going to have no chance of holding. There's just no way he can get a bunker up in his mineral line. Absolutely no chance. He's going to start his second barracks now, and he has no idea. His scouting SCV hasn't even gotten to Ace's base yet, and Ace is going to wait even longer. No, here he goes now. Even bringing the probe, MarineKing is in so much trouble. He's going to have to micro those Marines like his life depended on it, because this game does depend on it. And the Zealots are surrounded by those SCVs. Not the best micro from Ace. Could have targeted down those Marines earlier, but he's going to kill so many SCVs here. Now he needs to target down that bunker, because if the bunker finishes, MarineKing may have a chance of holding this, but I don't think so. He's losing so much here. Zealot going to target down that Marine. The Marine doesn't have any friends to run away and hide with, but the bunker is almost finished. It's going to make it significantly easier for him to hold this, but he's lost so many SCVs already. I don't think he can come back from this, but he is going to try. Mule does fall. Now, for worker counts for you guys, we've got 9 probes, 8 SCVs. Ace has gone completely on with this. He hasn't been transitioning back at home. He wants to end the game with these Zealots. No gas yet for Ace, and he's still not making any additional probes. And that actually may end up to be the death of him here, because it's not actually necessary to cut probes with this build, so I think maybe he hasn't practiced it that often, or he's doing some specific variation of it to get a few extra Zealots out, but I don't think that's really necessary against a player who has good micro like MarineKing. And I tell you what, folks, I think MarineKing is going to hold this, actually, with some beautiful micro, and Ace making a huge mistake, not making anything back at home. And I think this is going to be the end for Ace. He's losing his last Zealot now to these Marines, and I can't believe it. One more Zealot does come out, but there are so many Marines out for MarineKing now. Remember, he's the king of Marines. And that's going to be it for that Zealot. The pylon will fall, and Ace, I think, should have transitioned back at home, should have made a few more probes. He could have had Stalkers out by now, but no. He's trying to get those Zealots out desperately, but the pylon falls, and that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. GG! Ace making a funny face. MarineKing giving the shrug, doing that little face that's become popular recently. I don't even know what the name of that face is. Drinking his Gatorade. He is pleased. Ace is not pleased with how his results went. And I gotta say, it was a great move by Ace to try that. Extremely risky. He found his opponent right away, saw the SCV building the depot just barely with the probe's vision. Was like, all right, I got lucky, I'm gonna do this. I think he was just gonna proxy his first gateway away if it didn't work out to be, you know, his opponent was there. So, I'm gonna talk about that game a little bit more, but I don't know if I have any time to do it. You may get a shot at me in a second. I'll tell you guys all about what I think about that game. Otherwise, we might be jumping right into the second game. Yeah, we are going to jump right into the second game, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit. He guessed correctly where his opponent was. Now, if he didn't guess correctly, he probably would have just built his first gateway there. Maybe a Cybernetic core is there as well, because you don't actually have to have your first gateway in your base. It's helpful, but it's not actually necessary. Extremely risky move by Ace. I think he thought he had that game won, because MarineKing always goes CC first now in TVP. Every single televised game he's done recently against Pros, he's gone Command Center first, so it was a beautiful move by Ace. His opponent walled off and everything, so it should have been an easy win, but he didn't transition back at home, but got a little bit overconfident. Now the countdown to the start of the map is Zalnaga Caverns. Is MarineKing going to take another easy win and close out the series, or is Ace going to come back and tie it up 1-1? Let's find out here on Zalnaga Caverns. In just a second. All right, here we go.